She showed up on a Monday. Small, dusty, black fur with a white stripe on her chest, like a brush stroke that got interrupted. No collar, no leash, just waiting. Right by the entrance of the Greyhound station in Dayton, Ohio. At first, people thought she was just another stray. There were plenty around here. Old dogs dumped by traveling families, too many stories ending in parking lots. But this one? She didn't beg, didn't bark, didn't even wander. She just sat, facing the door, all day, every day. By Wednesday, the staff gave her a name, Shadow, because she barely moved, because she was always there. Luis, who cleaned the lobby, tried to feed her some leftover hot dog. She sniffed it, then looked away. Didn't touch it. Dogs like her, he said. They're waiting for someone. By the weekend, people started noticing. A woman posted a photo on Facebook. This dog's been at the station for 5 days. Doesn't bark. Doesn't eat. Just stares. Someone must be missing her. It got 100 shares, then 1,000. The shelter came, tried to catch her. She bolted, but not far. Just behind the vending machines, and the moment they left, she came right back. Same spot, same stare, like a statue built of hope. Some said she was guarding something, others that she was sick. But the old man who sold newspapers near the terminal shook his head. She's not sick. She's not lost. She's waiting. Sunday morning, a man stepped off the 645 from Indianapolis. Tall, thin, wearing a green army coat 2 sizes too big, one hand in his pocket, the other holding a small paper bag. His name was Eric Maynard, 38, retired corporal, medical discharge, head trauma from an IED outside Mosul. Locals called him quiet, others said damaged. But that day, he wasn't just another face in the station, because the moment he saw the dog, he stopped walking, stared hard. The bag fell from his hand. Shadow lifted her head and whined, just once, then stood up. He said one word. Lucky? The dog ran to him, launched into his chest like a bullet made of fur and memories. He collapsed to his knees and sobbed, not loud, just broken. Like a door opening for the first time in years, people froze. Phones came out. Some recorded. Others cried. Because they knew, even if they didn't understand it. They knew. A woman tried to ask, "Is she yours?" He nodded, then shook his head, then whispered, "She was, before, but I thought she was dead." He held her like he was drowning, like her ribs were a lifeline, and she licked his face like she'd been counting the days. They sat on the floor for almost an hour. No one disturbed them. No one dared. When they finally stood, he looked at Luis, the cleaner, said, "How long has she been here?" Luis said, 7 days. Eric nodded, eyes full of something that looked like guilt and awe and maybe healing. He said, "I left her in Kentucky 6 years ago." He stayed the night in the station's waiting room. Wouldn't leave. Sat cross-legged on the tile floor, back against the vending machine. Dog curled against his side like she never planned to move again. Someone offered him a cot at the shelter. He shook his head. "She just found me. I'm not gonna disappear again." The next morning, he spoke. Not to reporters, not to the crowd, but to Luis, the janitor, and the woman from the coffee kiosk, Janine, who brought him soup. He said, "She was a pup when I got her. Found her behind a gas station in Kentucky. She'd been hit by a car, limped bad. I patched her up with duct tape and cotton, called her Lucky. They went everywhere together. Boot camp, training, deployment. When he was stationed at Camp Arif Jan, Lucky was left with his fiancée in Lexington. But things got complicated. The fiancée left. The dog ended up with his brother. Then the blast happened. IED outside the convoy route. Eric was thrown into a ditch. Survived. But lost 2 years of memory. Names, places, and everything about the dog. He said, "When they sent me back stateside, I didn't ask. I didn't remember. And no one told me. My brother died 6 months later, car wreck. I figured Lucky was gone." For 6 years, he lived in a trailer. Didn't talk much. Didn't trust anyone. Worked part-time at a hardware store. Did his VA appointments. Kept his head down. Until last week. He had a dream of a black dog, waiting by a red bench. Woke up crying. Didn't know why. Got on a bus the next morning. Destination: nowhere. Ended up in Dayton. Walked off the platform. And there she was. Same eyes, same crooked ear, same white stripe. They tested the microchip that day. It still registered. Lucky. Registered to Eric M. Maynard. People started crying in the terminal. Even the grumpy ticket guy. News spread. They called it the dog who waited. The soldier who forgot. The miracle at the station. But Eric hated the word miracle. He said, "It wasn't a miracle. It was her. She remembered what I couldn't. She walked it, lived it, found me." A local vet examined Lucky. She had old scars, worn paw pads, and a chipped canine. But otherwise, healthy. She'd traveled somehow over 350 miles, across highways, fields, cities. Looking, Janine started digging. She found shelter records, photos, sightings. Lucky had been spotted 3 times in different counties. Same dog, same stripe, same stare, but always moving, always heading north, always toward him. They think she followed his scent from an old jacket his brother had tossed at a Goodwill. Tracked buses, trains, maybe even the people who reminded her of him. No one knows. But she got there, right where he was. And he wasn't the same anymore. Eric started remembering things. His CO's name, the night before deployment, his brother's favorite cologne, and Lucky. He said, "The VA told me memory loss can be triggered, but I think it's more than that. It's not just neurons, it's soul. She brought part of me back I didn't know was still alive." And that night, he finally smiled. Genuine, not the empty kind, and whispered into her ear, "You waited. You found me. Now I'm not going anywhere." The mayor called him personally, said the city council wanted to honor him. He declined, said, "Don't need a plaque. I already got what I lost." But the story wouldn't fade. Veterans wrote letters from across the country. "Thank you for showing us it's not too late to be found. I lost my buddy in Iraq. Your story gave me hope." Animal shelters reposted the story. People lined up to adopt their own Lucky. But there wasn't another. There never would be. One morning, a woman showed up at the station. Elderly, glasses, trembling hands. She carried a faded photo. It was of a black dog sitting on a front porch. She asked, "Is this the one?" Luis nodded. "That's her. She waited here for 7 days. The woman cried. She said, "I saw her once 2 years ago in southern Kentucky. She ran behind my car for half a mile. I tried to stop, but she was too fast. I always wondered where she went." People pieced it together. Lucky had been traveling almost non-stop for over 2 years, staying near stations, smelling luggage, avoiding people, except the kind who smelled like war. She had followed the ghost of someone she refused to believe was gone. And she was right. Eric finally agreed to one interview. Just one. He sat on a bench outside the VA clinic, Lucky at his feet. He said, "There are days I still forget. But she doesn't. She reminds me who I was. Not with words, with presence, with patience." The reporter asked, "What would you say to someone who's lost?" Eric looked into the camera, eyes steady. "Don't give up, because somewhere, someone still remembers you, even if it walks on 4 legs. That clip went viral, millions of views, and in the comments, "My brother hasn't spoken in months. He cried after watching this. I'm a vet, PTSD. This story brought me back." Love finds a way. The town raised money to give Eric and Lucky a home, a small cottage on the edge of the woods, quiet, green, safe. He fixed it up himself, painted the door blue, built Lucky her own bed, even though she never used it. She always slept next to him. He wrote letters now, to families of soldiers, to kids, to people who thought no one was listening. He ended each letter the same. Don't wait to be found. But don't be afraid to believe someone's looking. Lucky passed away 4 years later, in her sleep, old, full, loved. Eric buried her beneath the willow tree out back, built a small stone marker, etched 3 words. She remembered me. Every Veterans Day, people leave dog treats and flowers there. And every year, Eric stands beside it, hand on his heart. They called it a miracle. But he always corrected them. No, not a miracle. Just loyalty that didn't give up. Because some stories don't need to be rewritten. They just need to be heard. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.